playing it, it was kind of broken. But now it seems to be fine. Yeah, the crew is. I actually think it's pretty good, but I didn't actually play it that much, so it's hard to say what I would have felt down the line. But it starts off and it has one of those street racing type stories that we've come to expect from these types of games. And like, okay, whatever. And then you're just sort of in open world USA. Is that the laundry?
Oh, that's my air conditioning kicking on. Sorry.
Oh, okay. And then yeah, you go through it. I guess it most reminds me of Midnight Club, kind of like that, except you don't get new skills and stuff. You get new cars, and your cars you can buy different kits for them, so they run better on different types of terrain and are better at doing different types of stuff. So structurally, I think the game is actually pretty sound. They do the thing, open world games. They have the problem where it's like, well, open world, but then it's just sort of boring as you're traveling from point to point. Like that's the part I hate about open world games. And the crew, what they do for that is that there are sort of mini challenges as you're going along the way. For example, so the first part you have to drive from Detroit to St. Louis, and you're just sort of driving down these country roads, and that would be pretty dull, except that they'll have speed challenges, and so you go through a thing. It's like, okay, now you have to reach, drive as far as you can in a certain time limit, and then you'll get upgrade parts and points and stuff like that. And so there's just like mini challenges all the way down as you're driving on this road trip. So it's like, that's nice. it makes the open world part less boring for me. And then as far as like the different missions and stuff, there are things like straight races, Midnight Club style, so like checkpoint races, drag races. The one that I was really bad at, you have to like run other cars off the road. So it's just like, oh, this guy is trying to muscle in on our turf or whatever, and so I want you to go take him out, and you're just furiously driving after this other car, and you have to hit him a certain number of times, and then they'll like spin out, and then you win. And I just could not do it. It was taking forever. Every time I was like, oh, I've lined up the hit. Here we go. And then I would just like miss it by that much. And then, of course, then I'm off track, and it's like, oh no, now I have to turn around, and he's getting further and further away. It's like, but yeah, other than that, I thought the crew was fine. So I don't know what the reviews are talking about, unless it's really broken later. The other thing, well, so the thing they marketed on was like, oh, join up with friends and then you can race together in a crew, right? But early on, you can do things, and it calls them co-op. But then when I started them, it's like, wait, so it's not really co-op. Like we're still competing against each other. Like it was just a straight race. And it's like, oh, in the story, it's like, yeah, you have to finish this race first, and that's how you get this crew's attention, and then they'll like draft you in or whatever. And then the race started, and I was like, okay, so how's this gonna work? Like we're co-op now, and I don't know, like should I like block these guys or something, and then you can like be first or something? But then it turned out I was like, oh wait, I'm just racing against you while I'm racing against these other guys too, or these AI guys. Like, how is this co-op?
Because
it made
you're
no
together,
sense.
tropical.
It made no sense. I've heard like co-op makes those sort of run the guy off the road missions easier, because then you have a bunch of cars chasing the one car.
Weren't there was stuff like that in, was it Need for Speed, maybe? It might have been Midnight Club back.
Where I had to run people off the road?
Yeah, because I could have sworn I've played one of those series where it's like you'd be chasing down somebody and you had
It might
to.
have been Driver.
Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe that's
Driver
it.
does have that.
because I get confused. I don't know.
Yeah,
Those are
Midnight
like the only
Club.
three racing games I played. So
Man, I wish there was new ones. Although I don't know if I wish there were new ones. Like 2 was my favorite Midnight Club,
I
and
thought
then
they
3 was
didn't,
like, eh,
didn't they announce a new one or something? I could have
No.
sworn there was supposed to be like
I
a
don't think so.
weird. I
Rockstar
almost
is busy churning out those GTA's.
hmm, weird. I could have sworn there was like a, or maybe they were just saying something else is similar to Nightclub. Midnight Club is what it was. Maybe that's what it was.
Well, man, Midnight Club 2, it was so cool. Like you earn sort of new moves as you're progressing. And there'd be like the thing where you could pop up on 2 wheels, like, oh, this is so awesome. I love this game.
I don't know. Whenever I played those games, like because my brother and I, whenever we played like games that had like co-op modes or something, we usually just kind of just like drove around and just made up our own story for the game and stuff. So I never really never really like played through them. So
I wonder, ever since Fast and Furious, like every driving game that takes place on streets has sort of the same story. It's like, oh yeah, we're like underground street racers and
Yeah.
we're all cool and stuff.
Yeah, it's like ever since like Need for Speed Underground, which is funny because that's the name. It was like
Yeah.
such a rip of that. But that was like my favorite one. It was like the best Need for Speed game that didn't have Need for Speed in the title. I mean, I'm sorry, Need for Speed, it was like the best version of Fast and Furious in a game. Like the second one, like Underground 2 is like the best. It was just like I wanted more of that. Like when Need for Speed back in the day was going that direction, I was like, dude, I love these. I was like buying them every year, and then like there's 2 of them, and the next one wasn't Underground, and it was terrible. Well, it wasn't terrible, but it was like after that, I was like, yeah, whatever. I'm just that was like the last Need for Speed game I ever loved. I was like, oh man, it was so good, so good.
Yeah.
So it was like open world, and it was like customization because that's like back when they were like customization up the wazoo, and it was like awesome. And then, what happened?
oh, never mind. I was thinking about Burnout. That's what it was. I was like,
Oh.
completely
But
different
like
game.
Burnout it's easier to tap people out. You just sort of tap them because everyone's going so fast and
Yeah.
it just works. But then in this one, like they have a life bar and you hit them enough to like deplete the life bars. Oh. I hit him at full speed, with nitrous going, and it like took off most of it. It's like, oh wait, now I have to hit him one more time. It's like, really?
Because his car can work right up
It
until
took-
that point.
It took everything for me to hit him that one time, and now I have to do it another time. It took me so long to get through those missions.
Actually, sorry to like interrupt you again, Shadow, but like going back, Need for Speed Underground, like there's that drag race mode. There's been like nothing like that in a racing game that was like so good as far as like you just race and it's like a mode, but it's like all these mini things put into it 'cause you have to like shift up and you have to like avoid traffic. And then it was so good. It was so good. It was just like that saber from Fast and the Furious, the first one, and they're racing. It's just like what happened? What happened? I'd love to see like an HD remaster or like a new version of that game.
That'd be cool.
Underground reboot and just have like 3 of them in a trilogy or something. Just
Well, they remade or they rebooted Most Wanted, but they did it in the style of Burnout. So and like they rebooted Hot Pursuit. So maybe someday reboot Underground. Maybe when Fast and Furious 7 comes out. Is that the current one?
I know there's a lot of them.
7 is
Yes.
going to be the
7
newest
is going to
one.
be the newest one,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So,
Fast 6 I haven't watched it yet. So
but
Yeah,
still,
there's, like,
Fast 6
trilogy.
is quite good. I like that one.
I think that
Anyway, yeah.
Wow, yeah, we're getting like way off on
I-
like
I
Fast and
just-
Furious. Let's just sorry, Tactical.
I was gonna say, wait a minute.
I feel like surely there are other frameworks of stories that can be used for this type of car game, though.
Is there though? I mean,
I don't know. Like
outside of like heist or underground, drive clubs. It's like, I mean, what else would you
Yeah,
be doing? Racing to get somebody's heart to a hospital or
I
something?
enjoy-
well, I mean, if you look at Jet Set Radio, like those types of games, like that is sort of, that's not really skater culture, but it kind of is, and it's just like, yeah, a totally different type of story for a inline skating game.
Well, there was crap. There was one of the Need for Speed games. I forgot what it was called, but it was like basically you worked your way up from street racing to like legit racing, and like your and like your in-game avatar was this dude that always wore a helmet, and like it was weird. But yeah, that's kind of
I don't
like
remember which one that was, but yeah.
there's like that way of doing it too, where you go from like underground to legit style.
Try to make it to the pros.
Yeah, you just work your way up from the underdog.
It's like I used to be a kid of the
Or
streets.
would there be anything wrong with doing it in sort of a alternate contemporary setting? It's like cards and stuff are all the same, but racing is totally fine in that place, and it's just something that everyone does.
That would be doable but interesting how you would do that. And then Tokyo Street Racing or Tokyo Street Racer. I think it's called Tokyo Street Racer. It's a game. It was on Dreamcast, and there's like two of them, and one came out on PS2. And then they kept making them, but they changed the title. But like that one, it was weird because it was like you as a street racer just like worked your way up. It was like
Like
the games we're
one
talking about, but it's like a different tone of like like
Yeah.
respect through the underground
Yeah.
of like street racers because you only raced on the highway.
There was well, what was that?
And then like the later ones, it was
Anime.
cool because like Initial D. But like there's
Yeah,
later
yeah.
ones where it's like you'd like do both. You do like the night racing on the highway, and then you just tried to like be a drift racer in the mountains of like Japan. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed those. I would
Like
I would love
Initial
to do
D
one of
is
those
about
too.
Initial D is about racing, but it's it's totally different. Like the crew and Need for Speed Underground and all those there's sort of this criminal organized crime element always. It's like
'Cause it's illegal tropical.
to be
That's
like
kind of
that.
how that works.
It's illegal in Japan too, but it's like it's the sort of atmosphere of Initial D is totally different.
Yeah, you do have a point because even like the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, not to keep bringing it up, but it
That
is
movie
not
was
as it's
terrible.
not what Tokyo Drift is
sorry.
like one of the best
sorry,
whatever.
that-
It's
that
like one of the
movie
best
was-
spin-off movies of all time. I don't know what you're talking
Nah.
about, RPG.
Nah, that movie was terrible.
It is
Because
whatever.
The lead guy is awful. That's what it was. I think that's what
Well, I'll
did
agree
it
with
for me.
that, but it's not.
'Cause-
It's like
I was like-
that movie is like such a good movie because it's like such an awesome like slice of Japan film. Like a dude in Japan and like they're doing stuff, and he gets to like hang out with Japanese people and like go to school, and they're like partying on like that like skyscraper with like a soccer goal on it or soccer field on it. It's like what other country has like a soccer goal field on a skyscraper? Exactly, Japan. And they like go through Shibuya and they're like drifting. It's awesome. It's like, oh man, in the mountains. I'm sorry. It's like a very awesome Japan film. Like get to go to Japan and awesome Japan adventures.
Yeah.
And there's
I like
Yakuza,
that.
or a dude who is in the Yakuza, who's like, my uncle's in the Yakuza, and his uncle's all old, and he's like, no, what are you doing? Smacks him. It's like, oh, he's in the Yakuza, he just smacked him. Yeah, it's great.
And why is like always anytime there's like a Japanese person in a movie, they always have to have like connections to the Yakuza or something. It's like, what is this like a thing for Japan? It's like
That's the only thing that people know.
I feel like that's not a good thing
There
though.
wasn't any Yakuza in the Wolverine.
I'm
Yes,
pretty
there
sure
were.
there was.
There were?
Yeah, 'cause I saw that one. I was like,
Oh.
I'm pretty sure there were.
Whole bunch of guys wearing suits and with Uzis.
I thought that was just like their family business or something.
Yeah,
and
the
they, like,
Yakuza.
hire them as bodyguards or
That's-
whatever.
That's exactly what it is.
Oh, well,
That's
never mind.
that's how the mafia refers to what they do. The family business. Huh? Fast and Furious feels like a cinematic universe.
It is. 'Cause they even like have a retcon that makes no sense. It's like, wait, didn't that guy die in that movie? But he's like brought back in like the
I think because
one of
them
the
was like,
later movies.
No, that was like a semi prequel kind of. Because I think
Wait, which one?
Drift?
Tokyo
No,
Drift?
there's someone that
Or-
dies in Tokyo
or-
Drift that like appears in one of the later films. It's like, wait, isn't he dead?
because that one took place before that one. Because I think in one of the scenes they had him like accepting a call from Japan or something, and he went back. Whatever it was like before they kind of like inched Tokyo Drift a bit out of there because they're like, not really a thing.
It wasn't as
Dad."
terrible as RPG saying.
So
Don't listen to him. But yeah,
It's
I
kinda
just
like-
have another movie
kinda
tropical.
like-
Okay. Karate Kid 3. There's no Yakuza in that movie. Or 2. Whichever one is Japan. It's 2. 2. Karate Kid 2. There's no Yakuza in that movie. That's an awesome slice of Japan movie too. Not to get off track, but yeah. We're already on Aimless Island talking about Japan.
That's
But like,
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
that movie's awesome because there's like,
dived
there's like
overboard.
the Storm and the dude, and he's like, "Oh, I'm your rival because that's my lady." And then he's like breaking the glass, and like, wax on, wax off stuff, and the counter, and like, yeah, the festival and the fight scene at the end. Oh, so good. I love. Oh, that's like, yeah, like to me, Karate Kid is like one of the best movie trilogies. But yeah, that's just me. So 1, 2, and 3, so good.
What was the third one about?
It was he comes back, and then like the dude. Okay, like the dude who's like Cobra Kai leader has like a friend who owns a dojo, and he's training Danielson in the third one, but he's like building him up to like have him get crushed in like this championship, and like basically he's like gonna pull a rope-a-dope on him, but then that's basically the crux of the plot, and then stuff goes down in the third one. Because it's like he's like this dojo master, but he's like an evil dojo master that is like with the Cobra Kai, but the whole time Daniel-san doesn't know it, and he's like, oh no, Daniel-san, don't trust him, but he is. And then like he doesn't like get any teaching from Mr. Miyagi. He's like, Mr. Miyagi, I need you to help me in this tournament, but he doesn't help him. He's like, okay, fine, I'll just go to this other dojo dude, but he's like the evil Cobra Kai dude, and it's like, oh no, and then stuff goes down, and then it's great, Oh, I'm sorry, I like Karate Kid.
You would be great for like explaining movies to like kids. He's like, what happened next, Tekken? What happened next?
They plant this bonsai tree, and then like they have to get roots for it and stuff. It's great.
Oh wait, I remember. Yeah, okay.
The part in the mountain, when they're climbing.
Yeah.
Wow. I think I saw that. The only karate trilogy I've seen was like Three Ninjas, and that was not the same thing. So.
Wait, what? You haven't seen Karate Kid?
I haven't seen the whole trilogy. I said I've seen the first one.
Man. Anyway.
I haven't seen that last one. Because the second one came on cable one time.
It's also the Ninja Turtles. That's a trilogy of ninjas. Oh wait, we're talking about ninjas or karate or Japan.
It was something about Japan.
Okay.
Japan.
But in the third one, they go to like back in time in Japan, but whatever.
Yeah, that I did not even know that one was real, actually. Because I saw it, I went to the theater in Taiwan, and it was in Chinese, and I was like, they don't usually dub movies here, so I thought it was like a knockoff. But I guess it was real. And plus, like, the turtles didn't look the same. They had, like, different faces, and it was just like...
Technology.
Oh. Terrible.
Now that I look back on it, the live action movies are kind of not good.
Yeah.
I accepted a lot of things as a kid, and I'm like,
it's actually funny. There's like an article I read online from someone that they wrote about like how the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles affected like people that were young at that time, and like after I read it, I was like, dude, I was indoctrinated by Teenage Mutant Turtles. Because it's like they're ninjas. I think ninjas are awesome. They eat pizza. I love pizza. I was like, oh my gosh, it like destroyed my life after I read that. I was like, I've just been indoctrinated.
I thought the same thing like with the old cartoon until it's
I love turtles and other types of reptiles. I was like, oh my gosh, this has had too much of an influence on my life. I've been indoctrinated this whole time. I didn't even know until I read this.
Because it's the same thing with like the Transformers, like things when Tropical, like before he was saying like how Transformers and like Transformers Prime and like the difference between them, and it's like, as a kid, it's like I saw this, I was like, oh, this stuff is so cool, and then I would look back and it's like, I'm not sure like what I was thinking. Because like now the newer cartoons and stuff, it's like they're a lot different than.
It's like way better.
It's like, huh.
Well, so I don't know if this is true because. As a kid, I didn't really get to choose what I ate, but it seemed to me it's like there was basically Domino's, Pizza Hut, and to a lesser extent, like Little Caesars, and that was it. And then when I came back to the States, there was like hundreds, like so many different pizza places, and my first thought was, wow, this is because of turtles, right? Because all those people at the time loved turtles, and now it's like everyone loves pizza, and that's why there's so many pizza places now.
I would not disagree.
I'm almost sure that's not the reason, but I love that. I would accept that.
I would too.
Accept that as what is the real reason.
Yeah, that's really what I thought. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is the effect that Ninja Turtles has had on the U.S. It's an entire generation of people.
Wow, Tropical, like thinking like that, it's like you can see like why Japan is so weird is like when they have like stuff that like rises in popularity and like it just like does weird stuff to people that live, or no, it does weird stuff, but like you can like see stuff pop up in like certain spots of like, oh, this is that one spot with Hostess bars or whatever. Yeah. That cater to these type of people. Weirdness.
All right.
Yeah,
that was fun.
So,
So yeah, other driving game. Because I just rented the Crew and I didn't. Oh, it was nice. So I actually hit the limit on PlayStation Plus cloud save storage. I think they only give you a gig, and I don't know. Somehow well, I do know why. Like save files these days are ginormous. Like they're huge. Every save, like I have one save file for Tales of the Borderlands, and it is 70 megs. That's just unheard of before now. The largest one I ever saw before was Final Fantasy 13 2, which had like 300 meg save files. And I was like, why are they so big? This is crazy. But anyway, it's nice that the Crew is an online only game. Like you can't play it offline. When I tried, it said, "Oh, you need to be online." It's like, "Oh, that's I had no idea."
That's weird because I don't know that.
Yeah, I had no idea. But I guess it's good because like my save file, if I ever decide to play the rest of it, is just stored on their server somewhere. So I didn't have like I was thinking, it's like, what am I gonna delete so I can have this one saved? And it's like, there is no save file. It's just up there. It's like, oh, okay, that's cool. Should I go into Aimless Nam? No, I will not. So I spent some more time with Drive Club. They just released the weather effects patch, and man, it is crazy. It looks really, really good, and it's sort of. I'm wondering if this is the reason why sort of like Gran Turismo doesn't have or didn't have these types of races, because it's kind of unrealistic. I mean, yes, you can drive out in the snow in real life. And, theoretically, you could, or not theoretically, but like you could go out there and race at 200 miles an hour in a snowstorm.
I would not recommend that.
Yeah, no one's going to do that. It's like, what are we racing for? It's like, we're racing for reputation and money. And I'm pretty sure if I wreck this car, it's going to cost way more money than the meager prize money you're offering here. It's like, no one is going to do this. This is insane. And because the race I chose, so I just set it to random time of day, and then like random weather. So it can actually, the weather will actually change throughout the race. And I started it, and it was like dead of night and snowing super hard. And so what that looks like on the screen is just your headlights reflecting off hundreds of thousands of flecks of snow, and you just see this white sheet in front of you. And it's like, we're driving at 100 miles an hour. I was like, this is insane. Like, no one is doing this. And like the in-cockpit view is actually really good. So, yeah, the wiper is doing its best, but too much snow. But it's really exciting, I suppose, since I don't have to fear actually getting killed. It's like, yeah, we're racing through the mountains, 100 miles an hour in a snowstorm.
It's a video games report tropical.
Yeah, pretty
one
much.
of them.
So you can do things that you would probably.
This is something I totally want to
So
do.
I remember back in the day when I used to play Madden, I would always put it on snow because it's like, it like very rarely do you get to see a game played in snow. So it's like, yeah, I want to see the snow. But then back in those days, it would just be like the field is white and
Yeah, just what I'm saying. It didn't really change anything. And except for like in games with like Mutant League Football when they had like field effects and stuff, that was pretty cool. I enjoyed that series. The cartoon was, yeah, no comment. But yeah.
So I continued playing through the sort of tour mode, which is, it just has you earning stars, like 3 stars for, or it's usually like 1 star for finishing in the top 3, and then 2 other stars for doing specific things in the races. Some of them are like, oh, get a lap time less than this amount. And then others will be like, finish or complete one of the face-off challenges, a particular one that appears during the race. I don't know if they were that successful with the face-off stuff, because they put them in there, and their reasoning was, oh, sometimes you're racing, or racing games are sort of, the person who's winning is having the most fun, and if you're not winning, then you're just kind of like, I'm not having that much fun. So they put in face-offs to say like, oh, you're not winning, so here's this other thing that you can do, and if you complete this, then you have, small victories, small victories.
That's kind of something they did in Grid with the rival driver system.
Oh yeah,
Where it's
and like
this is your rival.
MotorStorm had something like that too. You could sort of bet against one other player and be like, okay, I'm gonna beat that guy. I don't care if I'm first or whatever, but I'm gonna beat that guy. And you could like win money that way. Those seem to work better. Drive clubs, I don't know. Sometimes it just feels like they're in the way. Like there will be drift challenges where you have to, drift around these like tight corners, but then every time I drift, it's like the secondary goals are getting in the way of the primary goals. If I drift, I usually messed up, and then I don't win the race. I was like, well, I was winning, but then I tried to do this challenge, and then I lost. So they don't, like, they feel like really secondary goals. So it doesn't totally get rid of that sense that you're, I could have made more progress if I wasn't trying to make this little progress thing right here. I don't know. I'm very looking forward to the PlayStation Plus edition though, because then there will be more people playing, and then maybe I can join a club. Yeah, one of the complaints I heard about Drive Club was that it relies on all these social hooks, but they just don't hook me. Essentially, is what the reviewer said. I was like, well, I like this type of offline asynchronous competition. It's just that not that many people are playing right now. So I just need a larger pool of rivals who I'm competing with privately, because usually they don't know and don't care.
That would be nice though, to see like some sort of evolution of the leaderboard system, because like Xbox 360, like Xbox Live, like all it really had was like, here's first, who's second, who's third, or like where you're at versus your friends. Like there needs to be some sort of like like some improvement of that, to where it's like actually just better than like, here's a list and here's where you're at compared to your friends. Like it'd be nice to see someone like do some sort of system where it's like, you can, it goes beyond just like a list and here's your score and here's your friends. Because there's this cool thing in Shadow of Mordor. It doesn't exactly do it, but there's like the vendetta missions where it's like if your friends get killed by someone, you can go out in the world and kill that worker or whatever that killed your friends, which is fun.
Huh, that's
it's
sort of like...
I will avenge you, Zelda guy and King Ruckus. I will avenge you. Whenever I see one pop up, I'm like, I must avenge my friends.
Yeah, that's like the Nemesis system, sort of, in Diablo 3.
Oh, yeah.
Which is really awesome now. It was like this in the beginning, but now the friend that got killed by the Nemesis becomes like, there's like a shadow minion of that character following the Nemesis around. So far I've been lucky. Like the most I've ever seen was 2. So it would, like, the Nemesis would come out and there'd be 2 minions of different classes of hero characters running around shooting at me. Also, it's like, it's pretty intense.
All they have to do is remove that cap and let him get super powerful.
I know, that would be awesome.
He just comes through with like an army.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would be like the evil. That would be like the evil version of the Mii's on the Wii, when it's like, you found your friend's me, or whatever it's called, find me, or no, it wasn't called. I can't remember what it's called. It's been so long. But like the Mii parade, the evil version of the Mii parade. It would be very much a not fun parade. Because I want to murder you.
It's cool because the Nemesis system is really dramatic. Like when you're walking around and suddenly there'll be like drums, like announcing the arrival of the Nemesis. And in that situation, that would be pretty awesome. It's like an entire army shows up. Like, oh my gosh!
Well, I guess I'll be joining you guys soon, because
Yeah. So, Drive Club. It is pretty good. There is a ton of content. It's gonna feel like the way that they supported the MotorStorm games, except it's season pass and you have to pay for it. But other than that, there's a lot of stuff to do. There's a ton of races that come with the base game. And then the expansion packs are pretty substantial. And they've already released three, I think, for free.
Yeah,
And I think
those.
one or two of them were
I saw them for free
sort
on the
of-
store. I was like, oh, I'll get the free version eventually, so I can play it with the free version. Yay!
yeah, like I think one or two of those were like apology ones. But like yeah, there's a bunch of them coming for free for both editions. That being said, I don't know that you necessarily have to buy the game at all. The PlayStation Plus edition, yeah, there's going to be less tracks and less cars.
but
I don't know. I think actually that would have been enough. Like it's fun enough to like the driving is fun. The weather effect stuff is going to be free, so you're going to be able to play those. Online is there. Everything is there. Just not a lot of the content part. So PlayStation Plus edition, I think, is going to be really fun. And then if you really want a ton of content, and there's a ton of content, then yeah, Drive Club is at $50 is probably worth it, I think, if you like racing games. It's
Well,
good.
too bad there's Project Cars in the spring. Sorry, already booked.
Hopefully they get that free edition out soon, because it's people should see
Well, I
it.
guess I will be getting $10 back when I get my $60 from PayPal thing, so that'd be 40 instead of 50. But then, the game doesn't exactly work. Yeah, does it? Or does it work?
I think most everything is functional now. Like before this week, you couldn't get into the challenges, which is, if you set a really awesome lap time or something, you can send that out as a challenge to friends. And that was just grayed out until a few days ago.
Ooh, okay. Because
So-
that one stream I did watch, I was like, dude, this game looks awesome.
Yeah.
The graphics are very, very good.
Everything in the menus is accessible now, whereas before it was not. I was like, oh, that's pretty good. So it could be a little bit faster, like the loading of the challenges and stuff, but if they can fix that, like I don't know what they're working on right now to get the PlayStation Plus edition out. Because everything seems to be okay. Yeah. We'll see. Hopefully in a month or two we will get that one. And then I can have like a ton of people on my friends list who have the game.
late by then. In 2 months, it's like another avalanche of games.
Get your free games, people. Because I'm about to talk about one of them that I don't think anyone is getting, and it makes me sad. That game is Secret Ponchos. I finally got to play. So I played with RPG during you guys your raid yesterday.
I was multitasking.
Wow, it's different. Well, so it was neat because with two people we could do one-on-one, and that allows us some time to sort of study the characters and try them out and stuff like you would in a fighting game. Because before all I could do was free for all, which is 8 players, or I could do 4-on-4 deathmatch or domination, but all of those are like live games, so I can't really just mess around. I have to try to at least contribute to the team. But then one-on-one is like, oh, we're able to mess around, and we found out that if you push left on the D-pad, it brings up sort of like those little placards in the arcade that show all the moves for your character. And I was like,
It's like after all that trying to figure out things the hard way, it's like, all right, well, we could just do this.
yeah, we were playing 4-on-4s at first. It's like, I don't know, and yeah, try different characters. Like, I don't know how to use this character at all. I've seen people do this thing, but like one of them can run over and impale you, And I was like, how do I impale? Like, I don't know how to do any of this. And we were just getting destroyed. So then one-on-one was like, oh, okay. Oh, there's instructions.
It's like, I would have
Wow,
been
there's
so.
there's just a lot more moves than I thought there were.
Although once he discovered the dynamite, kept doing that for like all our matches. So it's like Tropical, do work. Stop putting dynamite in people's pockets. It's not helping.
That move
It's like
is
running
so
around
fun.
going pocket dynamite. It's like, Tropical, what the hell? He almost got me killed too because of it. It was like, oh my
Yeah,
god.
that one was funny. Yeah, essentially, my character has dynamite that he can throw, and at first I thought you just throw it, and people seem to be really good at dodging it, so I never hit anyone. And then I found out you can cook the dynamite, like hold it while it's about to explode, and then throw it, and then that way, people can't really escape it as easily. And then, then I discovered that if you walk up to them and push the other like trigger button, it just puts the dynamite in their pocket. And then I guess people really don't know about a lot of the moves. Like I guess, the left D-pad button, no one knows about that. So
It's like not used for anything. So that's what no one's been testing.
people don't know any of the moves. So I'll run over and do pocket dynamite and they'll see the dynamite and try to roll out the way like they usually do. But it just sticks to them. And they're just like
Where's
rolling
your run?
furiously. It explodes on. I was like, oh, that's so awesome.
Because like it happened too because like he pocket dynamited somebody and I didn't realize they had dynamite in their pocket at the time and they were like running around us and then they like exploded and I was like right there in the blast radius and I was like, son of a bitch, whose dynamite was this? And Tropical was like, wait, was that the guy that I put the dynamite on? And I was like, damn it, Tropical. Because friendly fire is always on in this game, so so you have to be
I think
careful.
that part of that, like, that makes it really fun for some reason. You can't just sort of fire randomly. It's not really a game where you can just run in and just like attack, 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 because you will kill your own teammates. That one, that was really close because I thought he died. I was running with another guy, and he had basically shot him down to death. And so I did, like, the enemy ran towards me, and I pocket dynamited him, and then I ran away, assuming that my teammate would just kill him, and then it would be fine. But I guess he didn't, and that guy kept trying to get away from the dynamite, ran toward his own teammates, and I got, like, a triple kill, because it exploded and killed 3 of them, and RPG was like, what was that?
Because I was standing like right there. I was like, what the hell? Because I was not warned about
explosion.
I wasn't warned that you were putting dynamite in people's pocket that time. So I was like, oh, this is just fantastic. Let me just run over here and try to kill this guy until like he explodes. I'm like, what the hell? That was close. I almost got deaded.
It was so funny. But no, we still lost. We lost most of our matches because I messed around too much.
He got a little
Just like,
dynamite.
run.
handy.
It's like, oh, roll dynamite, pocket dynamite, and then run away.
But I mean, some people playing though, it seems like they're just like experts at the characters or whatever. Because it's like
yeah,
we were
there's some
playing
people who are really good.
ridiculous. And I guess because as you go up in the bounties or whatever for the characters, you can like add skill points to them. So some of their characters are like really fast. So it's like trying to keep up with some of them. I was like, yeah, I can't get this. And it's worse with like the guy who has a shotgun because then it's like if he's moving fast and he's already like closing in on me, I was like, I can't run from him. So it's just it was just hopeless.
The more I play it, the more nuances I see. So the pocket dynamite thing, I've found that, well, one, it confuses them, and I don't think they can escape it. Like, it's just on them. So what happens is I shouldn't do what I was doing yesterday, where it's just like run around and try to pocket dynamite people. What I've been doing now is because my character's range is pretty long, so people try to get up close, especially with the shotguns, because if you get up close, it's really powerful. And so characters are just, if they're chasing me and trying to get really close to me, that's when I switch to dynamite and just like pocket dynamite them and then roll away. And as they're trying to escape, like that's when I shoot at them. And if I can get them down to half health before it explodes, then that just kills them instantly. Free for all I think is my mode right now. The problem with the game, the matchmaking is sort of, it's not very smooth. Like yesterday with RPG, every time we match made, so we were in a party, and then every time we match made though, I would get into the lobby first, and then I would have to wait, and then RPG would connect like a little while later. And like at least one time, someone else connected before RPG connected, and then I was just in a game, and then RPG was, I don't know, just left outside.
Because he's like, oh, the match started, or I was like, yeah, I'm not in a match, so I'm
just
not
like,
sure.
where are you?
It's like, I'm not sure what happened. So.
Oh, the first time was really weird because it was 2v2, but then when the game started, there were 5 players, and it looked like there was one guy who was just on his own. Because you spawn next to your teammates, and when we spawned, I looked to the right, and it was like not my teammate. It was like another guy, and then my teammate was on the other side of him. It was like, what is going on? Like, why are they spawning over here? But then when it started, I saw like the 2 map icons, and like there were 2 enemies on the other side of the map, and I was like, so there are 5 of us in this 2v2? And I thought he was on their team. I thought it was a 3-on-2. But then it turned out like they were shooting at him also. I was like, so it's a 2v2v1? I was like, how did this happen?
Although it would be awesome though. They had like multiple 2 versus 2, like it'd be 2v2v2v2 or something. Since I mean you can have up to 8 players anyway,
That's
so it's
pretty
like
cool, actually, yeah.
a couple of dual teams and stuff.
But yeah, so there's like lots of little things like that aren't smooth. Matchmaking takes a while. It's much faster, I think, the more people you have in your party. But then, yeah, there's the party staying together issue. So,
because it won't start a match unless everybody or all the slots are filled. So
yeah,
it's like you have to wait until.
So we spent a lot of time sort of sitting around, probably playing handhelds, like waiting for Secret Ponchos to find us a match. And I was like, come on, search harder. And there'd be 7 of us, and everyone is there waiting for the one more person. And then once one person abandoned ship, it's like, we have to start over.
No, we were so close. So yeah, I was playing Persona Q during our lobby time. So while watching the raid stream, I was triple tasking. I was like, yeah. I can do everything.
But then I was playing Free For All, and Free For All is a lot quicker. I guess most people were playing Free For All, maybe, so the matches filled up.
Of waiting. So
yeah, waiting for the other matches. So Free For All is quick. And then the other thing that's good about it is that the matches last a lot longer. Deathmatch it's like SOCOM style deathmatch. So once the opposing team is all dead, then that round is over, and it's best of 3. And so sometimes like those matches end very quickly. One team is just too good and just takes everyone out, and like, oh, we waited 4 minutes to play a minute, and then now we have to wait another 4 minutes to play another minute. It's like, yeah, this is not worth it. And like domination it can be a little bit longer, but if one team is too good, then
they really do dominate
quickly too. Yeah, so it's like best, or it's whatever team gets 5 points ahead first wins.
So you essentially have to get like a lot of straight kill streak kind of things going on.
And we were in some games where it was like immediately, 5 of us.
I know, right?
Game
like,
over.
That was quick. It's like we just started.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden you'll get like the death animation cuts in. I'm like, what the hell just happened? So yeah,
like Free For All is just timed, so the matches always last a certain amount of time, and that time is longer than a minute. So, and plus then I don't have to worry about friendly fire, so I can pocket dynamite all I want.
Yes, you can.
Oh, but it was so cool because we tried out the different characters, and the different characters are really different. I sort of thought they would be like even control wise, they're different. Yeah, not like extremely different, but they have different controls. So my guy rolls, but I tried another guy. He's like the deserter. He's like this big guy with a rifle. He can't roll, like, but his sort of dodge move stuns people when he runs into them, and then he can do like a sniper shot. So his regular shot is sort of a shotgun spread, but if you hold down one of the triggers and then you can't move, but your range is like greatly increased, and then it's just a single shot. And then you can also just like run into people with your bayonet and like skewer them. And then after that, you can like shoot at them as they're on the end of your gun and like blow them a distance away. I was like, oh, that's so cool. And like, there's another character. She has no gun. She's like a bullfighter.
Oh yeah,
And she has
it's a weird character because it's like she's mostly melee kind of in a gunfight. So it's like this is weird, and it's like she uses those things that people stab into bulls when they're bullfighting, and like if you can get two of them into like a person, you can like do an execution move with her sword thing. So it's kind of like the main goal for her ranged weapon is just to set her up for her melee
insta
stuff.
kills.
So yeah, so it's
and she
it's
can
weird.
like blind. And
Oh yeah,
blind is
using the cape.
yeah, that effect is really neat. Like RPG blinded me with that character, and then on my screen, basically she disappeared. I was just by myself. I was like, oh, I can't see you. You're just gone. It's like, oh man, this is actually really scary.
I'm invisible now.
And we found out the only guy with a poncho, he has this whip, and he can actually disarm you. He'll like grab onto you with the whip, and then your guns will fall to the ground, and he can pull you over and then shotgun you into the face. It's like, oh, well, that's so cool.
Although the spread is kind of narrow on it, so you have to have great aim with the whip.
Get pretty close. And it takes a while to charge up, but still. Yeah, it feels like the more that I've seen of the moves, the more it feels like the fighting game that they sort of described it to be. It's like, ah, this is so fun. I need a bigger party. If we could have 8 people play it, that would be great. Then we just have no matchmaking. And we could just keep playing.
8 people with PlayStation Plus on our friends list. I mean,
Yeah.
has to be.
I have 100 and something people on my friends list. Come on.
See?
So is that all you've been playing, Tropical?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what I've been playing. Secret ponchos, get it. Tekken, will you play with us?
Maybe.
Yay!
He
Then-
said maybe. It's not going to happen, Tropical.
What?
Do you want to go next with the human player RPG, or do you want me to go?
I can go, I guess. Because, I mean, since we already talked about Secret Ponchos, and I only have like 2 other things, so it's easier. So, yeah. Other than Secret Ponchos, I've started playing Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. That game was free after the PlayStation Experience thingy, and I was like, yay! Because I was kind of interested in it when they announced it, like way back when. So it was nice to pick it up. The game has like a multiplayer mode and like a Garden Ops mode. The Garden Ops plays, I guess, more faithfully to like the Plant vs. Zombie franchise thing, because it's kind of tower defense, but with like third-person shooter elements. So at the beginning, you pick one of the 4 classes, or you could pick boss mode or something and provide like support. But you pick one of the 4. It's the pea shooter, the cactus, the sunflower, and the Venus flytrap thingy. And when a level starts, you go build a garden, and then you're supposed to like defend it from waves of zombies. And you can plant the various plants in like the different pots around the level, so so it works like similar to the regular, or the, I guess, I don't know what platforms the other games are on, but works like that, where you have like the pea shooters or like these frost mushroom things, and there's like a bunch of different types of weapons. I mean, I'm not familiar with the game, so I didn't know what the types of weapons do. So I was just randomly planting plants, and I was like, yeah, they all must attack in some way, shape, or form. So usually, and you get like new plants and stuff from buying the little sticker packs that you get from with the in-game currency. So you can do that, and then each of the plants have like each of the classes that you can choose from for your character each have like their own like abilities and stuff. So the pea shooter is pretty much like I guess the main shooter kind of guy, and there's like different versions of each class, and you can get like a laser shooting one or the one that shoots like the regular peas and stuff. And then the sunflower is like the healer, and they have like a healing beam where they can plant like these heal flowers that shoot out like sun thingies to heal characters and stuff, or they can plant themselves in the ground and like shoot out a laser beam or from the sun or something. And then the Venus flytrap is like a completely melee class, so you can eat zombies or like dig underground and then like do like kind of like a shark dive thing, where it's like once you pop up from under the ground you can like jump up or grab a zombie and like swallow them whole kind of thing, or you can like run behind them and catch them with your tongue and eat them. So it's like a close range class. I think the cactus is considered the sniper of the group. So they have the different stuff like potato mines to guard their flank, and then they can like do range shots and stuff like that. So that's kind of like what you do during the garden ops. So it plays like the regular one where you're like planting plants and stopping the waves of zombies from destroying your garden and everything. And then there's like boss waves during this, and you go up to 10 waves, and once you get the 10 waves you get extracted, and that kind of gets you your rewards and stuff. And then the multiplayer modes are the actual Plants vs Zombies, where you can either be a plant or a zombie kind of thing. And then there's different modes where team deathmatch or the regular free deathmatch kind of free for all thing. And then you have other modes like dominate, or is it domination? No, it's like a capture the control points kind of things, where you have to capture different points. And then there's the taco bandits ones, where the zombies are trying to steal the tacos from Crazy Dave, and the plants have to stop them from doing it and taking them back. And then there's the other one like the gnome bomb, where there's like a garden gnome that has a bomb, and each side is trying to like get the garden gnome to the other side to like destroy their camp kind of thing. So there's like a bunch of different modes that you can play with and stuff like that. So it's pretty entertaining, and it's a weird game. But I mean, what can you expect with something called Plants vs Zombies? So you're not exactly expecting something normal, are you? So there is that. Is there anything else about that? I think you can, yeah, with the characters and stuff, you can like level up the different classes by completing like challenges during, whether it's during garden ops or during the multiplayer, where you're like either reviving teammates a certain number of time, or using an attack a certain number of time, or healing a different number of people. And it's like each class has like their own challenges, and you like level up each time and get like new sticker pieces and stuff like this to, I guess, customize your characters and give them new abilities and everything. So I guess they work like perks and stuff like that. So there's that as well. And other than that, I've been playing Persona Q still. I just finished up the second labyrinth. With each labyrinth, there's like a theme for each one. So each one has like their own like quirks and different types of FOEs and everything. So like the first one was themed after Alice in Wonderland. So like in there we had to chase after this pink rabbit that opened up different pathways, because it like smashed through like paintings in the walls and stuff. So you can like crawl through them and stuff. So that was kind of like the thing. And then like the FOEs in that level were cards, and there was like there were like certain parts where some of them were painting the roses red, and if you can like wash off the paint and they'll go to like repaint them, and that kind of like holds them up for a while, so you can like get around them. So you can you kind of had to use that as a way to navigate some of the floors where you had to like trick some of them into going into certain plants and painting them so you can, get past them and get to other floors and everything. And then the boss fight there was like with the Queen of Hearts, and their her endless summoning of cards and stuff. But that's when the other team gets introduced into this, whichever, I guess I'm assuming like whichever I'm guessing if you would have picked the Persona 3 team, then that's when the Persona 4 team would have got introduced. But since I did the Persona 4 team, that's when the P3 team got introduced with their little animated cutscene and everything. So there's that. The second labyrinth was a group date cafe. So like the FOEs in this particular one were all like kind of like Cupid themed. So they had like some that were stationary and they kind of just turned around and like shot arrows if you went into their line of sight, and some of them either confused your like walking, so you'd be going in the wrong direction and stuff, or some like forced you to come towards them. And then there's like other ones that only moved if you were facing them when you moved, so you kind of had to use that as a way to like get around them and stuff like that. And then uh, what else was this? There was like, oh, there was also like because I guess since it was like the group cafe theme or the group date theme or whatever, like in order to progress to each floor, there was like a large door that was locked, and you had to like go through these series of doors that asked you questions to find your destined mate, kind of thing. So they would ask you stuff like, "What's your favorite topping on a beef bowl?" or this, or like random stuff, and you had to answer it. And then like at the end of the level, they matched you up with one of the party members. So it was weird. But and then like the boss for that level was like a demonic priest who was doing like wedding vows and stuff. And so like during the match you couldn't do, or during the battle you couldn't do like certain stuff that he made you vow not to do. So you could, like, if he told you like you had to make the vow not to strike him or something, you couldn't use like regular attacks. So you turn and he'd do like different things where he'd do like multiple things that you couldn't do, and you're supposed to kind of follow it based on whatever he was vowing you not to do. So that's that's kind of how that goes. I haven't started the third dungeon yet, but it's called like the Evil Spirit Club. So I guess I will see what kind of theme or like level quirks are going on in that one once I get started with it, because I just started doing like a couple of other, finishing up side quests and everything, which you can pick up like requests at the nurse's office. Sometimes you can get them when you're like exploring the level. If you like get to certain dead ends in the level, it'll like play out like a little cutscene, and somebody might make a request based on something they saw or something like that. So like for instance, there was like this one dead end we got to, and I think Chie was looking for her snack or something, but then she couldn't find it, and she like accused Yosuke of like stealing her meat jelly or something. And you had to like take a request from the office to like investigate who stole it, and you got to like you like did like a little mini interrogation of each of the suspects, and then you had to like pin on or find the culprit afterwards, and you get like your rewards and stuff from that. But they also have like regular requests that are just like killing certain monsters or doing other stuff. So it's like you can kind of get like a bunch of different stuff from just like exploring the floors and that kind of stuff. And yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much that, I guess. I mean, it's mostly, like I said, like last week, it's a lot more lighthearted than the other two games that spawned it. So it's like there's still like a lot of, I guess, jokes and stuff going on in the cutscenes and everything, and it's not as, it doesn't like take itself as seriously as the other stuff. So there's a lot of fun stuff going on. I enjoy them, although they kind of like some of the characters are kind of like super exaggerations of like one trait they had in the previous games. So I mean, I guess like certain characters like Teddy can get kind of annoying, because like his whole thing is just like hitting on every girl in the party. So it's like every scene he's in, he's constantly talking about trying to score with them and stuff like that, and it's like the only thing he has going on. So it's kind of like for stuff like that. But like the other characters kind of are more in line with their their previous characterization. But yeah, I guess it just kind of depends on who it is. But yeah, that's about it, I think. Yeah.
Alrighty. Let's see. I think I played a bit more of. Oh yeah, I did. I played a bit more of Shadow Mortar. So I'm not at the very end, but like there's a progress bar, or not bar, but like a chart. There's a progress chart when you go in to check your abilities and other stuff, and so you can see where you're at and how much other stuff you have to do in the game. And like my thing on like the main missions, it's like, I knew I was getting there, but I didn't think I was getting there as fast. It's like, like think I have at most I have 5 left, but I'm getting towards the end. I asked Gamer once I'm done with that, am I done? He's like, yeah, and I was like, so I burned through. This is a game you can like go through it really fast, but which is kind of a, I don't know. I'm not going to comment about the length. You can burn through it really fast, but it is still fun. So, glad I didn't get it at 60 though. But so there's that. But yeah, we'll soon be to Shadow Mortar. So, besides that, on Vita, switched over to playing Final Fantasy X. I'm playing the
No.
10-2 HD remaster. I probably won't play 10-2 when I'm done with this one. But man, I forgot how awesome it was. It was like, man, brings back all the awesome memories. And it starts out a lot slower than I remember it, but I know it's going to get going and like just stay at its stride for a long time until it gets to the end. So yeah, I'm at the part where we're going to. We just got the cutscene of Yuna doing the first sending after the sin attack, and then there's the first temple you have to go to.
That's a pretty nice cutscene.
It is. I was like, man, looks so good. Looks so good. I'm not sure if they like made them better because it does. It seems like it looks better, but I'm like, does it actually look better? I don't know. It just.
Well, I mean, they
CG quality, so.
they HD'd it,
Oh, okay.
so of course it
so
looks
does look
better.
Okay. Let's see. Besides that, did I play anything else? I don't believe I did. Nope. So yeah, on to the news unless someone has a question this week.
Tropical always has questions. He's our only hope.
Nah, we're good.
Okay, I just want to say before we move on about like movie trilogies, because I gotta finish my thought on Karate Kid. Like, okay, so Karate Kid is like one of my favorites. My other two would be Bourne trilogy and Lord of the Rings trilogy, like not counting The Hobbit and not counting the Bourne Legacy, whatever, like that, whatever. It's like it's. I mean,
Well, I think The
there's like,
Hobbit is its own
just
trilogy,
like
isn't it?
the Karate Kid trilogy, and like you have the next Karate Kid. I'm just saying, like, you can have trilogies like if you look at them outside of like any other movie that's like related to the first three, just so it's like those are 3 trilogies to me. What does it? And like what I would say are like the best 3.
I guess.
You should totally check them out if you haven't seen them. Just saying. But yeah, news and stuff. What do we got this week?
Well, there was PlayStation Experience, but we did impressions of that.
Yep.
It was good, right?
Get reaction.
Thinking back on it now, still good.
Thinking back on it, I would like to see. I'm hoping for more 20th anniversary stuff next year from other franchises that have been around that long. Like some.
Oh, the Tekken thing,
Yeah.
right?
That's
Yeah.
mostly what that is, but yeah, it's like after I saw that, I was like, man, there should be. I hope there's more like stuff they're doing with the 20th anniversary besides here's a new PS4. Because it's like there's so much stuff like. I mean, Nintendo kind of like dropped the ball on like some of their stuff with that too. So I'm hoping.
Well, I mean,
PlayStation.
have there really been that many like franchises that have survived that long?
No, there aren't, which is why.
So, I mean,
But RPG, we're almost, I mean, once we get through like the first however many years of like PlayStation, will be like there'll be some in there, like Tomb Raider will be there.
There should be a new Wipeout this year.
Metal Gear Solid. Oh, dude, Tropical, that'd be awesome. Actually, Metal Gear Solid's like before PlayStation, so yeah, it's been around a while.
Yeah.
So, other stuff I can't think of.
Back in the day, like
Final Fantasy, it's even
console
older.
releases in the US were like a year after Japan, so next year is the 20th anniversary of the US launch of PlayStation 1. When would it have been? October, November, maybe? Probably.
I don't remember.
So,
I was but a wee lad.
It's a year-long celebration. Woo!
Oh yeah, Twisted Metal. Wait, no, was that?
No.
Yeah,
I don't-
Twisted Metal.
I don't think it was 20 years though. I mean, it was
Yeah,
on
I
the
don't think it was
PlayStation.
at the launch though.
Well, Well, since
Was
we're at
it?
year one of PlayStation, once we get next
Hmm.
couple of years, we'll have some awesome stuff that's in
Maybe,
20th anniversary
maybe.
zone.
'Cause no, I think the first one came out in 1998. Hmm.
No, that's too late. There must
Are
have
you
been.
sure? Oh yeah, because
Because PlayStation
PlayStation
came
2
out in
was almost coming
94,
out there.
95.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it would have had to been like 95 or 96. Maybe it was around that long. Huh. I don't know. I don't know. To the internet.
um, yeah, I'm hoping we see more about the other games that are at the show floor because there was a ton of games at the show floor that weren't at the keynote, and we haven't seen those yet.
Hmm. Have we not?
I think so.
Oh, then JK.
Well, okay. So according to this, yeah, Twisted Metal was not
Yeah,
a
well,
launch game for the PlayStation
but it was
1.
still 95 though, so it would be 20 coming up soon, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
no. Yes? No? I don't know. Yeah, it would
Yeah,
be.
next
Would
year.
be. Yeah.
Oh, it looks like September 9th was when the PlayStation came out in the US.
That's super weird because that's going to
Oh,
be
it's really
the
early.
year of Destiny.
That's the year of this. Ridge Racer was a launch game.
Oh man, Ridge Racer.
Ridge Racer.
Because a lot of these are arcade things like NBA Jam. Street Fighter the movie was a launch game.
Yeah.
Battle Arena Toshinden was a launch game.
Yeah, I remember that one. They should make a new one.
It's,
They need to make a new one.
yeah.
Do it. Downloadable. I'll get it.
And then back in the day, I think 989 had the ESPN thing. So there was ESPN Extreme Games was a launch game. Battle Arena Toshinden.
Why does that sound familiar? I feel like I'm.
It's a fighting game.
First released on PlayStation. Was later on Saturn, also Game Boy, probably not the same thing, and PC. It was originally promoted as a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Exclusives.
Yeah, the exclusive thing, that's still going on. So Street Fighter V is a real exclusive. I think. I mean, I'm pretty sure this version, but you know, how different really are the different versions of Street Fighter 4? They're pretty different, but anyway. And then news came out that Microsoft is publishing Rise of the Tomb Raider on Xbox. And then Square Enix had to clarify that, yeah, they are, but our agreement with them has a duration still. So nothing has actually changed. Like, I think they always knew that Microsoft was publishing, but we just didn't know about it until the Street Fighter thing. And then everyone was like, Phil Spencer, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Are you guys publishing Tomb Raider? And it's like, yeah, we're publishing Tomb Raider. And then that's how that news came out.
That's how that sounds.
Yeah.
It's still not gonna be enough, though.
See, well, okay, so speaking as a supporter of PlayStation, like that's, you know, there is no hypocrisy really. Like Street Fighter V on PlayStation only is good because we're supporters of PlayStation. Why is Tomb Raider not coming to PlayStation bad? Because we're supporters of PlayStation. Like that, there's a very simple explanation.
Well, it's not coming to PlayStation. It's just
Well,
coming
yeah, that's the other
later,
thing too.
so,
It's like it is coming later, and you know the Tomb Raider agreement feels shady because of the way they announced it. Then you know all this stuff afterwards where they had to clarify it, and then the thing about the duration, and yeah, it's
Everything
it's
Microsoft does is
it's
shady.
funny.
It's like their
Well,
company policy.
it also, I don't know that it makes sense. Like it will make less and less sense for people to make exclusive games to Xbox as sort of the sales numbers increase, because at some point it's like, well, everyone is on PlayStation. Yes, there are people on Xbox too, but not as many on PlayStation. So do we make one for the smaller audience and then just like 40 million people? Oh, well, whatever. Like, people don't do that. Sorry, companies don't do that.
It is weird.
But this is sort of interesting. Like, last generation, everyone was saying that third-party exclusives are dead. Like, by the time we get
Oh
to
yeah,
PS4 and
I remember
Xbox
that.
One, there will be zero third-party exclusives. And then we got the first sort of bombshell. It's like, wow, Titanfall is only coming to Xbox One. And everyone was just like, why? Why? It doesn't make any sense. Nobody likes the Xbox One. And this was before they came out. It's like, nobody likes the Xbox One. It's just crazy. Like, there should be no exclusive games for that. Of course, we didn't know how the sales were going to turn out at that time. But then once we found out, it's like, now it makes even less sense. And then so we started getting the stories like, yeah, Sony was basically saying that, yeah, so, if you had released Titanfall on Xbox One or on PS4, like, this is the sales numbers we think you would have gotten. And there's the rumors that EA was in like super apology mode. And then there was the news reports that, yeah, the Titanfall like agreement came out way before they even revealed the systems, and everyone thought that the Xbox was just going to keep dominating. And then let's see, what was it? Like Dead Rising was sort of like that too. It was like Dead Rising had become sort of multi-platform, and then it was like, wow, Dead Rising is, even though like I still associate Dead Rising mostly with Xbox, but like Dead Rising 3 being Xbox exclusive, it's like, wow, this third-party exclusive. Like, oh,
Wait, is Dead Rising on the other platforms?
It's on PC.
Oh,
Dead Rising was I think Dead Rising 1 was the Xbox 360 only game.
But it's also on PC, isn't it?
Or right, also on PC.
Well, I don't know. I just figured it was always Xbox, though. I didn't know if it.
Yeah. Well,
it
like
never
the
came to
second
others,
one
did it?
came out on PS3 also.
Oh,
Dead Rising 2 is on PS3.
I did not know that.
But then, like, in addition to that one, the Xbox 360 also got, there was like a prequel game, sort of like
Yeah,
Ground
Case Zero.
Zeroes. Yeah. And then, no, that was the exclusive stuff for that one.
Hmm.
So, it seemed like it was kind of becoming multi-platform, and it sort of made sense. Like, in the beginning, Xbox was way ahead, and then near the end, they were sort of even everywhere except the US. And so, yeah, it just seemed like everyone was like, yeah, no more third-party exclusives. And then we started seeing a lot of third-party exclusives. And then recently, we've been seeing, like, the really big ones. So it's like Tomb Raider and Street Fighter being third-party exclusives on different platforms.
It
Like,
kind of makes you wonder if, like, when the well of AAA dries up, if that's where, like, platform holders would go to like, grab things to get people to come to their side. It's like, haha, we have Tomb Raider. Haha, we have Street Fighter. Haha. Well, for time, a certain amount of time anyway.
it's kind of crazy.
Actually,
Like,
when you think back to it, it's like that is kind of weird on like the Xbox One side, 'cause it's like a lot of those only on Xbox 360 games later came to PS3 anyway, like BioShock, Mass Effect.
yeah,
It's true.
Dead Planet. I mean, not Dead Planet. Is it Dead
Lost
Planet?
Planet.
Lost Planet.
Dead Planet.
There's too
like
many deads. Dead Rising, Left 4 Dead. Nah. But yeah.
But it's just funny because, the reasons that people said that there are no more third-party exclusives, like, those reasons remain, and yet there are third-party exclusives now. Back in the day, it was because they said, yeah, development is too expensive now, so they have to, multi-platform releases, because that's how you hit the most number of people.
See, that's why the Square, or the Tomb Raider one makes so little sense, because like Square even had that, report about, these didn't make their
Yeah.
sales goals, and then like you make it
Now you
even
make it
harder for it to
exclusive?
sell
Yeah,
that many copies.
it's like logic, guys. Logic.
Oh, it's great.
So it's gonna be interesting. Like, man, E3 is either gonna, like, we all know it's gonna be awesome, I think, but is it gonna also be very ugly for the people who, yeah, for the people who want to maintain this sort of gamer cred, quote unquote thing. Have you noticed that? Like, the defense for being called a fanboy is saying I have all the consoles, or saying I don't play on consoles. I buy PC. Consoles are junk. Like that is not really a qualification. And what's wrong with being a fanboy anyway?
I know. Why can't you just like all the things? I mean, that's my thing with like Mario and Sonic. It's like it's not mutually exclusive. You can like them both. Seriously.
Yeah.
Sega, Nintendo, all the way.
Can you though? Can you?
I mean, I didn't have a choice because we got a Genesis, so I was like, whatever, man. I'm stuck without Super Mario, but until I can get the Virtual Console version in 20 years. But hey, I survived, and now I'm a Sonic fan for life as well. So.
And see,
Sonic is the best.
so it does happen. I guess the way I see it is like, well, now it's sort of cool because if you're, 3 or 4 years down the line, when I do have an Xbox One, I will have games that I like are totally new that I've never played before because they were exclusive to Xbox One for real. Once you finally buy the other console at the budget price way down the line, there will actually be like totally new games that you have never played before because they were exclusive. That's good, right? Otherwise, you're just buying another console for no reason.
Hope they have a better library by then, because otherwise it's like,
yeah, 4 years down the line. It's hard to say actually. And that's the thing. Like that's why they're worried. That's what all the price drops and everything are about. Like if it gets even more dire, then down the line it's gonna have to be really cheap before I get one, because it's just like, well, there's Sunset Overdrive and Tomb Raider, and then everything else was third party, and they were on multi-platform.
Oh yeah, because you already have a Wii U. I forgot.
Yeah, it'll be like back in the day when I finally bought the original Xbox. It was like, yay, now I have it. So I can play Halo. Yeah, Halo. And yeah, there was just nothing else.
There was that one game with the cat and the time thingy. Wait, was that the right
It was
game?
Blinks the Time Sweeper. That's
That.
what it's called.
Yes.
I was like,
It was
some
okay.
cat guy.
It was okay to be excited about Blinks before it came out and around the time it came out, but years and years after, then you should know better.
I mean, obviously it was no Ratchet and Clank, but I mean, they tried.
Only people like me can play games that have poor reputations like that. I'll play it and be like, oh yeah, it was okay. They tried. There was some good stuff.
But so much bad. So much.
Yeah, that really was my Xbox library. It was Halo 1 and 2. I eventually got Grand Theft Auto 3 for it because they had that thing where you could do the custom soundtrack. But it was cool in Grand Theft Auto because it slotted in, or it only played when you're in the car. And it wasn't like later custom soundtrack where it just plays over everything it's like listening to an MP3 player at the same time that you're playing games. It was smart custom soundtrack back in the day.
Isn't that the way GTA 4 does it though?
I don't know. Well, wasn't
Oh,
it
actually,
system level on the 360? It was system level because I remember trying it on Dead Rising. I thought, oh, just play
no, I
this
meant
music
on the PC
all.
version because I know it doesn't do it on console.
Oh, back then
Because
I
I know
didn't have it.
Gamer talked about it, but I'm not sure if I think they turned off the radio stations in the PC version. I'm not sure.
Hmm. Yeah, back in the day I didn't have a
But I
PC,
didn't
so
know the Duke version did that.
the Duke version did
That
that.
is
That's
very
why I
surprising.
got that one. It was like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, the Duke.
What else did I have?
Yeah, because like it's neither Xbox One or an OG, so I'm not going to call it OG anymore. It's just the Duke now.
Oh, I also
Talk
had
about terrible
Dead or Alive
naming
3
ideas.
and the first Ninja Gaiden, the Return of Ninja
I think
Gaiden,
that's the
because
only
those were
game on
cool
Xbox that I
games.
wanted to get back in the day. I didn't get around to getting.
Ah, well, they eventually made better versions of
I was
it
just about to say.
on other systems. So, but still, like that's how Xbox One could go down in the future. It's like, oh, I'll get it because I like having them, and then I just won't really have anything to play on it.
Hmm.
We will see. We
we
will
though?
see.
Will we?
Unless they give up tomorrow. Yeah.
Well, they could, but I mean,
Um.
I don't know. I'm seeing like bundles with like games and stuff now that are like a little bit more than 300 now. So
Yeah,
they're
but see,
still.
that's still $300. When it gets like I got two Xboxes for 300 back in the day,
Why did you buy two
and a
Xboxes?
collection. I don't have I told this story. I bought my Xbox on eBay, and I had bid on several different ones. So it was just like, oh, I this one is such a good package. It was like
Is this
an
similar to how
Xbox.
you got so many PS2s recently?
Yeah, I was just about to say, is that the same?
It
I was like,
is actually
that sounds
same thing.
exactly how like
Same
you got
thing.
your PS2s. It's like you think you would have learned.
I bid and I was like, you know what? There's no way I'm gonna get it at this price. Like they would be insane to sell it at this price. It's like all these games and the system and like all these controllers. Like, yeah, let's just do it. And then I did that for a few of them, and then I realized, wait a minute, what if I do? And then I won one. And I was like, okay. And then I won the other one. I was like, no. But yeah, they were really good deals. So I had two Xboxes like and a library of games for I think it was like 170 or something like that. It was crazy. And this was before they abandoned the Xbox too. I don't know how I got those.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind buying an Xbox on eBay if it had like all the DLC for games that you can't get anymore. It's like if it has
Wow.
all like the game, like all the DLC like on the hard drive already, because then I think I have most of the games I want to play. So, or just some like crazy modded hacker one that has like all the stuff that's been like obtained through other means. But yeah, it's nice little
Um
things.
yeah, it seems like the impressions of the PlayStation experience were pretty good. Most people thought I mean there have been some articles that are saying, yeah, this was sort of genius because
They won the news cycle
yeah, like they
when there was
dominate
nothing
the news cycle
happening.
now. In the first week of December, it's like, oh, everyone is talking about the keynote thing, and then over the next few weeks, it's just going to be the impressions of all the other games that were at the show. And Microsoft basically has nothing to say right now. They have nothing to share.
It's like, so yeah, Uncharted 4. Yeah. Yeah, good luck with that one. Yeah, have fun. Have fun coming back from that. Punch in the face. Off the building. Into a
There,
giant pit
yeah.
of fire and
Oh
lava.
my.
It's like a mini volcano that skyscraper's on. That's what happened there.
I was just
Yeah.
about to say you're huh.
There's some like evil they went okay, I'm not gonna go that
I
far.
feel
But
like that
yeah.
would be a
Yeah.
bad place to build a building, but I mean, I figure if you want to punch people into volcanoes, that's a great location.
They're in Hawaii in that one town. Yeah. That was like getting eaten by
Wow.
lava.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's pretty cool. And if Xbox continues to have nothing to say for the next until E3, that's like 6 months of mind share. And a lot of people are talking, right now is the crucial sort of buying time. If people are on the fence, once they see some of the stuff that comes out PlayStation Experience, they're like, yeah, okay, PS4.
Maybe Microsoft will have an Xbox experience, and then we'll go from there. 'Cause,
That
I mean,
seems
their
to be
name
some of,
works
yeah.
perfectly into it anyway. So it's like, oh my god, this is the perfect time, guys. We have a pun already ready. Let's do this.
Xboxians.
Actually, I was going to tweet about that. Like,
They could just
I
take
thought
the
about
yucky
like making a
experience.
snarky tweet about that. Like, when Microsoft wants to make a douchey half-ass try at like doing the same thing right after like, hey, look at us too. We can do this too, and then completely flubs it up like they did.
The only problem is it's like it'll be awkward if they do it too soon because then it's like, well, now they're just trying to, they do their thing where they follow the leader,
Yeah.
and now they're trying to do it. But if they do it too late, then it's like, yeah, we don't care anymore. So it's
And
so
like
it's
the and like
kinda
the like the feel and the tone will be like completely different. It'll be like super corporate and like soulless and like we're just gonna pose her off with Sony.
With the smirk. Yeah. I think it was all from one article. It was basically saying he predicts basically next year PlayStation won't be able to do this again. Sort of get the jump on everyone else because everyone else is going to be doing it next year. And then
they'll just do it earlier. That's all.
yeah. And he was talking about the feel of the event. It was very different where it's like, yeah, this more and more E3 press conferences are about business and there's sort of these rehearsed sort of shows and posturing and stuff, and this was really like just for the fans. So like Xbox, they've given up even pretending that it was a press conference at E3. Like it is really rehearsed and like they fill the crowd
have a
with
cheering
people
section,
they've
what do we
paid
do?
or whatever.
It's like,
And
where's
like
the
everyone's
fake
gotta wear
family?
the glowing armbands, so it's like, oh, the whole crowd is glowing green.
Although those are just shock bands, just in case they didn't applaud like they were supposed to. It's like, hey, why aren't you applauding? It's like, I'm sorry.
So very, very, very cool. Dominating just everything. Yeah, I'm curious. I think tomorrow we get to see November MPDs.
Yes.
Or as much as we get to see these days. And then I'm curious to see how the whole holiday season turns out.
I mean, I
'Cause
think
the deals are sort of, it's been interesting.
See,
You
you
saw
two
the
were both like saying you thought it would like side, or the Tropical I know for sure is like it's so low. Like how can they not win? And I was like, I don't know, dude. Like I was watching someone's YouTube video of like they just bought a PS4 and like they weren't even swayed. It's like from the announcement and like Microsoft flubbing it up, they were never able to catch up ground, and like that person just stuck with PS4.
I feel like it'll be enough to get them like a large boost in sales, but I mean they probably won't be catching up anytime soon. But I mean, once it's
even-
cheap enough, they'll make up some ground, I guess.
even the boost is going to be hard to measure though, because October to November, like the sales are, even if they hadn't dropped the price, they would be selling more in November than they would in October, just because of the holiday
A
shopping.
holiday,
So it's going to be hard to tell. Like, I mean, they will probably have analysts who will be able to do a much better job than us, but it's just like, it's hard to tell how much of that is because of the price drop, how much of that is because it's the shopping season. But I think it is doing something, because otherwise I don't know that PlayStation would have done anything. Like,
if they were that worried, they would have did like some type of competing
Yes,
deal or
some
something.
promotion.
yeah, but see, like they're sort of doing something. So originally it was like $50 off Xbox One, and then later on Black Friday it was like $70 off, and it applied to like their game bundles, so the Assassin's Creed bundle and all that. And then
I feel sorry for
Sony,
anybody that's getting that. Just saying, it's like have fun with those games. They're just working incredibly well at launch.
oh, as an aside, so someone mentioned the possibility that Assassin's Creed, like, why didn't they just delay it, right? Like, that's a thing that people do these days, and it's
this
not.
bundle. It was already like
Yeah,
Yeah.
like they couldn't because of their deal with Microsoft. And I was like, oh dang. So is that what screwed everyone over because of the alliance between Assassin's Creed and Xbox One?
Man.
Whoops.
That's terrible. Anyway, yeah, Sony, they offered a Black Friday bundle as well. They're like, oh yeah, so you get 2 games and it's still the same price. Not as great a deal,
That's
but
the one
it
the
is
person
sort
in the
of
YouTube
a
video I
deal.
watched bought.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, I was going to save up and like get it later, but it came with 2 games I love, so yeah, it's even more awesome. Or there was another bundle I think they wanted, but they didn't have it, and they got that one instead.
Right now there's 4 bundles that you can conceivably get. There's the GTA Last of Us Remastered bundle. There's the Lego Batman and another Little Big Planet 3 bundle. Then there's the Destiny White PS4 bundle that's still out there, but that one costs $50 more unless you get a deal, and it gets really close to around $400. And then the 4th one is recent, where it's you buy it, and then you can either get Destiny with it or your choice of one other, 3
Oh, yeah, I
other
saw that one.
like digital games or something. So, I don't know. It felt to me, Sony's lead is sort of like, we don't need to do anything, but since they did do something, it feels like
Maybe they
either
just-
like, yeah, maybe they want to maintain their lead, in which they decided, yeah, so we do have to do something to get people to buy them right now.
or maybe they just
or-
didn't want to seem that smug. They're just like, okay. It's like,
Yeah, it's like, we
don't
gotta do
wanna-
something.
We don't want to look too cocky, guys. Let's throw a free game in there or something. Make it look good.
Well, it will be interesting to see. Yeah, I guess, if I didn't have a PS4, would I even consider Xbox One right now for $70 less?
But
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't. I would just be like, I'll wait for PS4 to be slightly cheaper. Or the deals, like the Grand Theft Auto thing, that's pretty cool. Like, or no, I'd probably get the Little Big Planet Lego Batman one.
it's so whimsical.
I know. And they're both new. Like, those are both new games.
They are. Yes, that is true.
Super new. They both came out within a month of now.
This is true.
Another thing that I guess we'll wait and see.
Nah, we already know how it's gonna turn out.
Like, yeah, in the back of my mind, I'm sort of like, if I'm Microsoft, I don't know what to do right now. There's just like, there's been too much damage done. There's, even like buying exclusive, you think that would make people happy, but it won't, because when you're the underdog and there's less people with your platform, buying an exclusive away from the other platform, that doesn't make people happy. That makes everyone upset. That only makes the people who already have your console happy, and they're not buying your console anymore because they already did.
They already have it. Yeah.
So it's just like, like, does Tomb Raider make a fence sitter buy Xbox One?
Yes.
I mean, it's not like there isn't a game like that on PS4.
See, I think that's
or
why
there won't
I think
be.
that's why Sony's library going forward will help them more, because they have more variety and whatnot. Like we talked about during the gut reactions, it's like, they have something for everyone as opposed to shoot dudes in the face all the time,
Yeah.
which is why I do not miss the other team that's not Nintendo. Just saying.
There's actually a lot of third-party exclusives actually on PS4. It's sort of, and for some reason, Street Fighter is the only one that anyone has really been like, oh, guilty.
Just like that.
Because like Guilty Gear, right? That's
Yeah, I
PlayStation
was playing the
4
demo,
only.
and I was like, ooh,
Man, that game looks awesome. And then Persona 5. I mean, yeah, maybe it's always been on PlayStation, but it's not a
Oh yeah, I didn't even
PlayStation
think about that.
property.
It it is exclusive to them as well.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
like they could
correct.
have totally did that on 3DS, and we would have been really upset, but whatever.
Well, I would know. I mean, I still have a 3DS and I love Atlas, but I'm just saying.
Or
Although they
like,
already put SMT4 on there, so that's probably why they went console this time.
mm, but yeah, like there
the
are other
Yakuza
ways it
stuff.
could have played out. Yeah, all the Yakuza games are PlayStation exclusives. Like, do people don't seem to go out and be like, "Oh, Sony went out and money hatted all these people." Like, I don't think anyone believes that because everyone, like those same people, would turn around and say Sony is going bankrupt, so Xbox is going to win by default. Haha. And it's like, so you're telling me that the almost bankrupt company went out and money hatted a bunch of people? Like, does that make sense to you?
Yes, they bought them with promises and lollipops. It's like we can't give you money, but what we can give you is peace of mind, guys. And that is priceless, my friend. Now have this lollipop.
And then indies still seem to love PlayStation more than the other
I
platforms.
think that's gonna be my New Year's resolution is to play more indies next year because I have so many, and there's so many I want to play. It's like I bought Neverloon, but I haven't played it. Ah,
It looks so good.
yes.
Yeah, I have this list that someone tweeted out. It's like the 20 indie games of 2014. And I'm like, I've played two of them, I think. So like, I'm gonna follow this list and play all these games next year. But yeah, indies still seem to love PlayStation more, and that's even if they're gonna be on other platforms, they're all coming out on PlayStation first.
Well, it's easier to try stuff on PlayStation. Everything's not hidden behind a paywall and crap, so it's like,
That's become a lot more sort of parity between the two systems. But still, yeah, they're coming to PlayStation first. So, Secret Ponchos, I expect that game to be multi-platform at some point, but it's on PlayStation right now.
it is.
Yep.
It is.
Just there's so many games, and I guess that's the defense. It's like my system doesn't have indies, like tons and tons of critical darlings and like that, and so I'm just gonna say indies, whatever.
I don't think I even played indies, so
Secret Ponchos is an indie.
I meant like usually tropical. I mean, I wouldn't have bought it otherwise. It's just because it was free.
What was
I
the other
usually,
game?
I think
told
Road Not
you?
Taken was too, right?
Road Not. Yep, that's an indie, and it was
But once
free.
again, that was also free. So I think
Wait, do you,
like
really? Do you have no indies that you've purchased?
I'm pretty sure I don't because I mean, now that I think about it, do
Most of them are
I?
digital, and RPGs all. I don't play digital games.
Oh,
as
I
well,
think that's it
so there's
too.
that.
Yeah,
Oh, is that why?
he's right. That's
Okay.
probably is. That probably is it. I'm not like a big fan of digital only because I don't trust
Oh, I
the
got to
cloud.
see The
and stuff
Witness
like that,
finally
so.
at PSX on the stream.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that.
That looks really
Yeah,
good.
it looks good still.
The hell is the witness?
Puzzle game by the guy who made Braid. It's first person all the time, and you solve all these puzzles. It looks like it gets really hard though.
Did you guys ever play Myst?
Yeah, it looks a lot like that.
Yeah,
No.
it's a lot like Myst.
It's cool though, 'cause it's like open world, but it's like it never
tells
takes
you
out of the
nothing.
yeah, it never takes you out of
Yeah.
the experience. And like it's when it does that thing where it's like you see where you can go, so you can like go anywhere you can like see, but it's like it's gonna take a while to get there.
Also, PlayStation first. If not always or forever. Yeah, man. I don't know what you do as Xbox at this point.
Start
Because
ordering hits out on
it's
people.
the I guess it's the main thing is like you haven't shown people where you're going. And then even, now people don't trust you on your word though. So the only way to show people where you're going is to actually do it. But that's going to take years. And so, you just sort of, I think you have to give up this generation and like do your game plan, show people that you could be trusted again. And then next time, maybe you get a chance.
Hmm.
But this time, yeah, it feels like it's sort of over.
Especially with like the Connect is dead already. It's like year one.
Mm.
Dead
Oh, I
Connect.
forgot all about the Connect. That is still a thing,
That was
isn't
like
it?
one of the things I was most excited for, and then it's like, nope, we don't even bundle it with the console anymore.
Hmm. Yeah. Whatever happened to that? Because I mean, they were initially just forcing it down people's throats, and then it's like, well, there's no software for it, so then
Yeah.
guess we don't need it.
Originally, I heard they were going to sell a separate one
Yeah, they're supposed to do
this
that
holiday,
this year, yeah.
but it's now December 10th, and I haven't seen one.
It's like, yeah, the holiday's gonna be over soon, so
So I guess we can only sell it if people want to buy it. So never mind.
I think it is the no software thing. That's probably why it's not out. It's like, yeah, we're just going to box these things and just put them out there, and hopefully maybe someone will buy them
because I mean, really, they were
for
the
no
only
reason
ones. They were
against
the
all
only ones
logic.
still like hanging on to the whole motion control thing. So, I mean,